Hey, this is Nellie's Farm. It is Friday, November 21st, 2025, guys, and we have got some dismal, cloudy skies right now. Been working on a video for you guys here, and I want to get it done before it starts pouring. It's sprinkling right now. Okay, so America is jobless, and this is why the jobs are not coming back. I know there's a lot of people that still have some hope out there, thinking that, it'll start turning around. I see people saying this a lot online and here and YouTube and so many places, and I'm sorry to say that I don't agree. And let me put it together for you as quick as possible. I've been jotting down things for weeks, and so there's so many layoffs, firings, chronically sick people filing for disability. I can't possibly name them all. I take notes for, like I said, weeks. I keep adding data on a certain subject, and then I put it all together for a report for you from all different sources too, not from just one side or the other as far as political goes. From mainstream media, but mostly from alternative news for a well-rounded picture of what's really going on. So, anyway, that's how I get my info, guys. So let me start with giving you some startling statistics here, guys. The USA, you might already know, is $38 trillion in debt right now. But as far as America's household debt goes, listen to this. I had to look at these numbers a few times before I could really absorb them. It was so shocking. America's household debt, $18.6 trillion last quarter. This is just last quarter alone, which is a record number. Now, this $18.6 trillion, this includes mortgage debt, $13 trillion, auto debt, $1.66 trillion, student loan debt is $1.65 trillion, credit card debt, $1.23 trillion, other debt, $0.55 trillion, and home equity line of credit, $0.42 trillion, and that's when people take the value that's out of their home and they borrow against it. So America lost, get this, 1.1 million jobs in 2005, 63% increase from last year. This is absurd. I know that in regular news they are trying to downplay this. And I don't believe necessarily the official numbers. And that is why I do a lot of research outside of that. Now, just in the month of October, 160,000 layoffs in America. Just in the month of last month, guys. Retailers alone cut almost 100,000 jobs in 2025. Now, I think that number is bigger because so many stores are closing and stuff, like the CVS's, and I could go on and on. So many. I think that number is bigger. 46% of Americans work for small businesses. 43% of those small businesses are behind on their rent, or they couldn't pay at all. Isn't that crazy? Here's a few examples of the layoffs right now. Just today, Amazon announced tens of thousands will be let go. Now, just a few days ago, Kroger sent AI text and voicemails to thousands of their employees saying they're laid off. Isn't that nice? You work for a company, you're loyal to them, you show up in time, you work hard, and they can't even use a person to tell you lost your job. Wow. So here's some of the reasons AI is taking the jobs, which I'm doing another video on soon. I'm putting together the info, guys. So make sure you subscribe so you hear for more information. I'm compiling a bunch of stuff together. So Walmart, all kinds of places. So AI, the tariff policies, which have been disastrous, less consumer spending, hiring freezes. The trucking industry, which I'm going to do a single video on, is slowing way down. They had counted on holidays to save them, right? because there are empty truck stops and empty warehouse places where there's just nobody, really offloading a lot of stuff. Well, according to a lot of truckers, which I listen to, I just don't like read articles. I listen to actual people. Christmas, has been very disappointing. They should be hauling that Christmas freight right now, and it's just not there. They counted on that to save them this year. And besides people like that, I listen to a lot of experts on this subject. According to one estimate by an AI expert, now this guy was on 60 Minutes, you guys, recently, which I didn't know. I don't watch most mainstream TV. But I found out through other means. He recently said that over half of white-collar jobs, which are corporate, skill jobs, like tech, will be eliminated in 1 to 5 years. I know somebody who lost their job after decades, a brilliant guy. It's a shock because he helped make the weaponry, it's starting to rain, for our nation's defense systems. He's lost his job, his coding job, to AI. I mean, imagine that. So, also, I had a recent job interview I want to mention before I get soaked here. I didn't know it only paid $9 an hour. I found out at the interview. She probably saw my jaw drop. I made double that almost a few years ago before I had my accident, and I'm not able to work in a factory now. I did robotic welding. But anyway, this is a part-time position, and she said she had 2 days of interviews back-to-back. And it's part-time, $9 an hour, and people are literally flying through the door. And this is a small store, a small independent grocery store, okay, in the next town. I saw one lady after my interview. She works at Waffle House and still has her uniform on. These people are working 2 and 3 jobs. I'm just trying to find one that I can do. I mean, and not to mention Piggly Wiggly, my local grocery store, they're laying off tons of employees. So it's starting to affect here too. It wasn't really affected that bad here. Here's Mindy Kitty. Because all the California people and northern people were coming down here. And that's what's kept our economy down here in the south going for a while. But it's starting to slow down too. I beat them here by 10 years though. I knew this shit was coming. So since the debut of ChatGPT, job openings have plummeted 32%. That's crazy. That expert on 60 Minutes said that. Companies that use AI instead of humans as their benefits, no wages paid, no health insurance they have to pay, no sick days, vacation to pay, benefits, and increased productivity. So, isn't that crazy? So yeah, they're going to choose that. Remember the billionaires that stood next to Trump right after his inauguration? I mean, they were there for a reason. They told you the AI would cure cancer and stuff, but you can see what it's really doing. So ask yourself why the working migrants were removed from our farms, restaurants, hotels. What about all the outsourced jobs from NAFTA? Nobody's saying nothing about them. Bill Clinton started NAFTA. Every customer service rep you can't even understand because they're in another country. They're eliminating our jobs on purpose and collapsing the economy on purpose to bring in the one world currency. It's a global reset, and I'm going to go because I'm getting poured on. Thanks for listening, you guys. Hit that thumbs up. Have a great day.